Hey y'all, this your boy Tashawn Brown Johnson. I'm coming to you with probably one of the most important things I will ever do this year for my YouTube channel. I went to a thing called Back to the Basics. Back to Basics. Courtship versus dating. Now, for those of you that don't know what courtship is, I'm gonna give you the definition. Now, here it is. Courtship. They have many. They have many. They have. I'm just gonna go with dictionaries. Dictionary.coms. Here it is. Courtship. Number one. Definition number one. The wooing of one person by another. Number two. The period during which such wooing takes place. 3. Solicit the favors, applause. Etiology, behavior in animals that occurred before and during mating, often include elaborate displays, obsolete, courtly behavior, courtesy, and gallantry. Or, in the Word English Dictionary, the act, period, or the act of seeking love, the love of someone with the intent to marry. Basically, all you saying is this: when I say this, if you are saved, unsaved, hopefully saved. If you're not, I'm still gonna give it to you. Especially when you're saved, and this goes for everybody. This goes for everybody. This goes for everybody. Everybody. Because when you're in God, you're able to point out who God wants you to marry. Because there is a difference, huge difference, between courtship and dating. Huge difference. Courtship, you got the intent of marrying that person. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. This is the person that God wants you to marry, and He's leading you to this person. Men, He's leading you. He wants you to find this person. Ladies, you do what you have to do, and a man's gonna find you. Now, courtship is just that. Y'all know what dating, and y'all know what dating. Dating is this: you dating somebody. You may or may not get that person. With courtship, especially in God, you're going to find that person. Because something may happen when you're dating. I'm just saying. You may or may not get that person. They may not be the one. But with Christ, when you're following Him and you're courting, more importantly, you with Christ is the first thing they have. That's your first one anyway. That's your first relationship. You follow God. God's going to send, for my men, God's going to send you whoever he wants you to marry. He's gonna send you that right person. And the Bible says, he that finds a wife finds a good thing. Now, let me break it down just a little further. Like I said, courtship, you intend to marry. You find someone. It's a period of time. The period where you're courting when that person. But there's other factors that come to it before you say, okay, I'm ready to court. There's a whole lot of stuff that you have to do for yourself before you're ready to court. First of all, what they said, you got to know who you are. Because if you don't, you can get very well lost in that person. Because you don't know who you are. So be careful. It's all about, you got to know who you are. You got to know who you are. You got to know. So courtship and dating are very different. Let me break it down here. In courtship, commitment precedes intimacy. Dating, intimacy precedes friendship and commitment. Meaning you're jumping in the bed, meaning you jumping straight past commitment and going to the intimacy. Oh, I love you, you know you. Yeah. You jumping way past that. And the statistics that were given, did y'all know, and I hope I'm quoting this right, first time, the divorce rate is over 50%. For first time marriages, the success rate of that staying together, the success rate for first time marriages is 60%. Back in when courtship was started, guess what? The divorce rate was only 5%. When dating was taking place, that divorce rate jumped to 16%. This is fast forward 1900s. And now the divorce rate goes up and up and up every time you get divorced. When you divorce the first time, it's 41%. Second time you divorce, 63%. Third time you get divorced, if you get divorced fourth time, it's a 41% chance that you're gonna get divorced again. If you divorce after a second time, it's 63% likely that you're going to get divorced again if you happen to be married. And if you divorce again, it's a 73% chance that you will divorce again. What am I saying? You're more likely to get divorced every time you divorce. How can that? Okay, what's one solution? Courtship. And also, for the man, you don't marry anybody unless you're able and willing and you're able to provide for your family. That means don't get your behind married if you can't provide for her. You may be in the right place, right time with the right woman that God sends you. But if you know you're not ready to get married to that person, then you can be patient. You can wait it out. But only when the man is ready. Only when the man is ready to do it. That's when you take that step towards marriage. That's when you take that step towards marriage. That's only when you take that step when you're ready. Y'all, I mean, profound. Just think, y'all, your courtship and listen. I have a bunch of notes here. And I just want to read some things for you guys, and then I'm going to go. To avoid divorce, to avoid it, prior preparation prevents poor performance. You don't, if you go in this junk without any preparation, it just knows by itself. For the men, I'll tell you what you are, what you need to be. Sincerely. But this is what you're going to need to be if you want God to bless you with a wife. If you want to find your wife. You got to provide a sustainer, worker, cultivator, protection, and protector. You're connected to God. You got to cover it. God covers you. You're responsible for leadership. You are a leader in your household. You are the preacher. You are the minister in your home. You got to secure that vision. You don't know what your vision is? How you expect to lead your family? Your vision's got to be aligned with God. Created for the purpose of cultivating everything, cultivating everybody. You are a cultivator. You cultivate your family. As a male, you are to guard and protect your family, your wife. You're intellectual, logical, meaning your emotions cannot get in every decision that you make with your family. You got to be intellectually logical, and you got to be spiritually capable. For a woman, how you need to be, women are multifaceted. They're formed out of love. They're helpmeet. They're suitable. They're designed to help. And they have a mission. Sidebar. Without a mission, she can't have no mission. And without no mission, your wife cannot submit. I'll say it again. Males, if you do not have a vision, your wife cannot have a mission. Meaning, no mission for her means no submission. And I'll tell you one thing else. If you can't lead, trust me, you are the leader. You are head of household. You don't step up for leadership, your wife will. Your job is to lead and to guide your family. It can't be the other one. It can't be the wife leads and guides. You are the leader. You are responsible. You're responsible for leadership. I'll tell you one thing. Like I said, courting eliminates a lot of problems. Like I said before, dating, intimacy precedes friendship and commitment. Courtship, commitment precedes intimacy. I say this. No ring, no thing, no nookie, no cookie. If you ain't put no ring on your wife's finger, or you have not made a sincere commitment to her, you stay out of the bedroom, pretty much. There was an analogy given. If you are a married couple, there's a canopy around the bed. You can't see what's going on. Because, and when Christ is centered, there's a covering. There's a covering in that bedroom. Because it's like a bed and it's got a canopy, so it's covering. You can't see. But when you are not connected to God, and when you're not covered, anything and everything can come in. It was scripture that was said when I think Isaiah, I don't remember what it was. It could have been Isaiah 27:9. It said when there was no king in Israel, everybody could do what they wanted to do. Yeah. Everybody was capable. Everybody wanted to do what they wanted to do. I know it's long, but hey, This is stuff I want to share with you guys, because especially with young people, because this is where, in this day and age, young people are dating. They're not thinking. They're thinking with their emotions. They're thinking with their head, because they find this fine young man or fine young woman and they're lusting, and I'll get into that too, and they just jump the room. They don't think. They're thinking with them. They let their emotions get in the way, and they make a bad decision that leads to a marriage that could fail. That well, probably will fail 99% of the time. But the most thing is, you have to be ready for courtship. So, how do you know when you're ready to court, men? Well, you know who you are. Value, worth, and purpose. When you get those three things, that's step one. When you know that you won't settle for less, meaning you don't lower your standards. That's for men and women. You don't lower your standards just so you can get a guy. Or you don't lower your standard because you want a wife. Or get a woman. Because when you lower your standards, that's when you mess up. And when you understand the purpose of marriage, when you understand it, marriage is not just, marriage is an agreement with God, meaning you two are coming together to serve God as one. Marriage is when done right, from what I know, marriage is a beautiful thing. When God has been in this relationship every step of the way. That's what courtship is. When you attempt to marry. Because it used to be, back in the day, that you had to go to daddy first to date their daughter. You had to go to daddy. Because daddy had to come back to you. Do you really like this guy? And if his answer was no, you wasn't gonna court her. Because that daddy was gonna ask you many, many things. What do you do? What's your job title? This, that, and the other. He gonna ask you. He gonna ask you. Because he wants to make sure that you're right for his daughter. This is a commitment. Not just like, oh, because it's fine. No, because the girl is fine and you want to marry her. Nah. You don't marry somebody because how they look. You marry a person because of who that person is. Their value, their work, their purpose. Does your purpose align with him? Or does his purpose align with yours? You cannot go into a relationship with it cannot be unequally yoked. Because I promise you, if you try to be, and I'm gonna just use my safe for a minute. If you marry someone that is not saved, unequally yoked, that's gonna mess up very fast. Because it's gotta be that. All this is gonna be said in probably about one sentence. Really. If Christ ain't in that relationship, it ain't gonna work. It won't. If Christ is not in your relationship, it will not work. It won't work. And one of the last things I'm going to say, for effective courting, time. It takes time. Patience. Cultivating. Both of you are cultivating each other in this process. Restraint. Effective communication. Selflessness. For both. Because if you are selfish and you want this and you want that, selflessness. Because it's no longer going to be about what you want. Because it's going to be about it ain't going to be about what you want anymore. What do I want to do? Because if you have that mentality, it won't work. How? You got to be selfless. And a sex plan. Well, first, accountability. You got to have that person, men and women. You got to have that person that you can go to, that you can talk to. Man on man, woman on woman. For the men, man on man, get a spiritual father. Woman on woman, spiritual figure, somebody that you know so like, like you said, getting that group, like for the guy, if you introduce this person, if you introduce to your friends and said, Tasha and her, something ain't right with this person. I don't think you should go with this person. Same thing with the female. She got a group of friends. So and so, I don't think Tasha is right for you. And the sex plan. Holding out until y'all cross that threshold where y'all finally together. Abstinence. Because this whole process is about getting to know that person. Making sure that the person that you seeing on the altar on that great day when you about to spend the rest of your life, that you gonna withhold no secrets from, someone that you gonna grow old together with. This is what you want to know. Courtship eliminates, will weed out the person and say, is this the person I really want to marry? Is this the person I want to spend my life with? That's this whole thing about, what this whole thing is about. Dating, you jump into feelings. You get intimate. You jump the gun. You think this person is so great, so wonderful because she looks so fine and he looks so fine. And y'all get, and for some, they jump the gun, they have sex, and they think they're great. Next thing you know, they may be good enough, or sometimes it falls apart and y'all divorce. Courtship eliminates everything. It allows time to develop. I know this is a very long video, but when you date someone, You may not, you may get her. You may not get that person. Courtship, you gonna know who it is. You gonna know if it's right or not. But in God, you will know who it is. I'm telling you. Courtship, yeah. Without God, you gonna weed out the person. Because guess what? Courtship and God go hand in hand. Because when you're courting somebody, that's with, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is who I know I'm gonna marry. Dating, you gonna, well, I hope she's the one. I hope and pray she's the one. In courtship, you asking God, God, please send me this person. Only when you're ready. And when you're ready, because you will have cultivated yourself, and only when you're ready to court, when you intend to marry, that's when you go through. And when you're ready to get married, for the male, you'll know when it's time to marry. But only until then. Marriage is very hard work. Marriage has its has its benefits. You love someone, you're with someone, because God never meant for any one of us to be alone. You'll finally cross that barrier where you'll finally be able to say, you know what, I'm finally, because it's not just about sex. Even though sex is a part of worship, because is a form of sex is a form of worship, is what I was told during the event. Because God said, go out there and multiply. When it's done right, when you do the right thing, when everything is right, it feels right, because God has led you to this point. Courtship versus dating. Don't date. Because when you date, when you get into it, you find out this guy wasn't the right one for you. And when you do find out, you're going to get hurt in the end. There are 3 types of relationships, and I'm gonna finish off with this. And I'm going to go. There are 3 types of relationships you should never get in. A rebound relationship, you know what that is. Going with somebody the moment you break up. Finding somebody. And getting with somebody the moment you break up and get right back in the game. And being in a relationship. That won't work. Never works. A lustful relationship. Lusting. Men, women. You find someone, guys, you find that woman that's got the curves, they got the makeup, they got the wear the high heels, nice body, you know, all 9, everything. You go after her because you lusting with those eyes. That ain't gonna last. You know ain't gonna last, because it's gonna break up by the time you start an obsessive relationship. Being in that relationship that's abusive. Because guess what? You may not live to get out of it. And I said I was gonna stop right here. But guard your heart until it's time. Until it's time. Guard your heart. I'll leave with this quote and I'm gonna go, because it's past 30 minutes. I didn't mean to speak 30 minutes on this topic. But sometimes when you start talking, for me, especially when it's something that I learned, I really want to give it out. Being in a relationship is a full-time job. If you're not going to put in the work, don't fill out the application. I'll say it again. Being in a relationship is a full-time job. If you're not going to do the work, if you are not going to put in the work, do not fill out the application. And say it with me one more time. No ring, no thing, no nookie, no cookie. Because ladies, let me tell you something. What you got is way too valuable for you to be passing. It's way too valuable to be passing around. Ladies, you know what you have. If you even knew what you have, and if you knew that it was so valuable, that's why in the Old Testament you had to pay a price for what you do, for the low down dirty thing that you're doing in the bed. You had to pay. The man had to pay, because you just took somebody's virginity. That's very valuable. And now it's not even valuable anymore, because just like for the men, that's their conquest. I want to get something. I want to get this girl because she got it going on. And the ladies, oh, I want to give it out because I know I got it going on. So I hope you get something out of this. Rewind it, find something out of it, take it back to somebody. Let's stop the madness. Courtship is the honorable thing to do, and this is the last time I'm gonna say this. This is the last time I'm gonna say anything else. Chivalry comes into play with courtship. Courtship is the honorable thing to do, because when you do it right, because you fall in love with the man, not the body. Women, you are not falling in love with the man, not the body. Who this man is far more worth than his body. Alright? Courtship versus dating. Men, women, do the right thing. If you got God in your life, allow God to show you who he or she is that he wants you to marry. And wait on him. Wait on his promise. If you don't know Christ, get to know him. Because I'm sure you've probably been in so many relationships that your heart is broken and you get defensive. Now, because every other man you meet now, he probably just the same. If you knew God, you wouldn't have to go through what you go through. But if you do know God, you just best be waiting. Alright, that's it. I'm going to cut myself off, because I know I done talked. I'm going to sit here and almost talk a dang hour if I don't stop. So, if you got to watch this video again, watch it again. If you got to watch it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times to make sure you get it, watch it. Like I said, this is one of the, I said in the beginning, this is the video that will probably be one of the most important videos that I do for my YouTube channel. As always, I love you guys. Make sure you comment, like it, share it, comment. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I'm gonna start putting my information down below if you want to follow me in any of them. You know, if you got a smartphone, follow me on Instagram. You know, Twitter, I have it. Facebook. If you're on Facebook, let's be friends. Alright, y'all. I'm gone. It's over 30. It's over 30 minutes, and I'm done. Courtship versus dating.